Hello, coin collectors and history lovers. Welcome back to the channel Valuable Rare Coins. First, we've got something truly special in store for you, especially if you're a fan of rare and valuable US coins. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1918 US half-dollar coin. This coin might seem like just another old piece of currency at first glance, but trust me, it has a story to tell, and it could be worth a small fortune today. So, grab your magnifying glass, because we're about to uncover all the secrets behind this historic coin, and by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at its true value. Let's start with a little bit of history. The 1918 US half-dollar is part of the Walking Liberty series, which is one of the most beloved and iconic coin series in American history. These coins were minted from 1916 to 1947, and the design of the Walking Liberty half-dollar has become synonymous with freedom and hope. The coin features a beautiful Walking Liberty on the obverse, her right arm outstretched, holding a branch of laurel, symbolizing victory and peace. The reverse side features a bald eagle, representing strength and the United States itself, perched on a rock, ready to take flight. The Walking Liberty half-dollar, including the 1918 version, was designed by the famous American artist Adolph A. Weinman. His design was praised for its beauty and symbolism, and it quickly became a favorite among coin collectors and the general public. The coin was struck during a period of significant change in American history, just a few years after the United States entered World War I. This gives the 1918 half-dollar even more historical significance, as it was minted during a time of great national pride and turmoil. Now, let's get into the specifics of the 1918 half-dollar. The coin was minted in Philadelphia, and it's often referred to as a Philadelphia strike because of that. During that year, there were also mint marks for coins minted in Denver and San Francisco, but the 1918 Philadelphia half-dollar is the most commonly found version. However, despite the large number of these coins produced, the value of the 1918 half-dollar has increased dramatically over the years due to its age, rarity in certain conditions, and its historical significance. What makes the 1918 half-dollar so valuable? The primary factor is the condition of the coin. Like any collectible, coins in better condition are much more valuable than those that have been worn down by years of circulation. A coin that is well-preserved and remains in high grade can command much higher prices on the market. If you have a 1918 half-dollar in uncirculated or near-mint condition, you could be looking at a coin that's worth a significant amount more than face value, but the story doesn't end there. The 1918 half-dollar has also been known to have some rare variations and minting errors, which further increase its value. For instance, certain coins from 1918 are known to have been struck with a slightly different die, which can result in minor changes to the design, such as differences in the placement of the stars or slight variations in the eagle's features. These small but noticeable differences can make a huge difference in the value of the coin. Collectors love these variations because they add uniqueness to their collections, and the rarity of these error coins makes them highly sought after. There's also a very specific variety of the 1918 half-dollar that stands out to collectors. The 1918 S/1917 variety. This coin was minted in San Francisco, and due to a minting error, the die used for the 1917 coin was repurposed for the 1918 coin, which resulted in some of the 1918 coins showing remnants of the previous year's design. These coins are incredibly rare and can fetch astronomical prices at auction, making them one of the most valuable versions of the Walking Liberty half-dollar. How much can a 1918 US half-dollar be worth? Well, the answer depends on the condition of the coin and whether it has any unique characteristics like minting errors. A well-worn, circulated 1918 half-dollar is worth a few dollars more than its face value, but if you've got one that is in excellent condition or features a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a coin that is worth far more. For a 1918 half-dollar in exceptional condition, you could see prices in the range of several $1,000s. However, for a 1918 S/1917 variety or a coin with a unique die variation, the value can skyrocket. In fact, these rare and pristine versions of the 1918 half-dollar can be worth as much as $120,000. That's right, $120,000 for a single coin. Imagine finding a rare 1918 half dollar tucked away in your collection or your coin jar. It could be worth a small fortune. The beauty of coin collecting is that sometimes the most unexpected items turn out to be worth incredible amounts of money, and the 1918 half dollar is a perfect example of that. If you happen to have a 1918 US half dollar, or you're interested in learning more about how to spot rare coins, I recommend getting your coin professionally graded. A certified numismatic expert can tell you if your coin has any unique characteristics or minting errors that could dramatically increase its value. And remember, even if you don't find an error coin, a high-quality 1918 half dollar could still be worth thousands of dollars. Second rare coin, we're talking about the 1972 US half dollar coin, minted with the D mint mark in Denver. Now, before you dismiss this coin as just another ordinary piece of currency, trust me, there's much more to it than meets the eye. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be blown away by how much this coin could actually be worth. The 1972 half dollar is part of the Kennedy half dollar series, which was first introduced in 1964 following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. This coin was a tribute to the late president, who was deeply admired for his leadership and vision. Over the years, the Kennedy half dollar has become one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history, and the 1972 version is no exception. On the obverse of the coin, you'll see the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by the talented artist Gilroy Roberts. The image captures Kennedy's face in a dignified and timeless way, and it's accompanied by the inscription, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of minting, 1972. The reverse side of the coin features the classic design of the bald eagle, with its wings spread wide, holding a bundle of arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other. Above the eagle, you'll find the words, "United States of America, e pluribus unum," and half dollar. Now, while this might sound like a standard coin to most people, the value of the 1972 half dollar goes beyond its historical significance and classic design. What makes the 1972 D half dollar especially intriguing to coin collectors are the nuances in its production. This coin, minted in Denver, was part of a larger series of half dollars made during a time when the U.S. Mint was working to meet the demand for circulating coins. But here's the thing, despite millions of these coins being struck, some of them are exceptionally rare in certain conditions or because of certain minting anomalies. One of the key factors that contribute to the value of a 1972 D half dollar is the coin's grade or condition. Like any collectible item, coins in better condition are much more valuable than those that have been worn down by years of circulation. A coin that is well preserved, with no visible scratches, discoloration, or damage, can fetch a significant premium on the market. If you have a 1972 D half dollar in near mint or uncirculated condition, it's worth far more than the face value of 50 cents. These coins can easily be worth hundreds of dollars in the right grade, but here's where it gets even more interesting. The 1972 D half dollar is one of those coins that has been known to have some rare minting errors. These errors happen when something goes wrong during the minting process, resulting in a coin that's different from the intended design. Error coins are incredibly valuable because they are unique and rare. Some collectors specifically search for minting errors to add to their collections, and a coin with a minting error can often fetch much higher prices than a regular coin. For the 1972 D half dollar, one of the most notable errors is the doubled die variety. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to appear doubled. In the case of the 1972 D half dollar, the doubling is most noticeable on the word Liberty and the date 1972 on the obverse of the coin. This variety is highly sought after by collectors because it's a rare mistake that makes the coin truly unique. A 1972 D half dollar with this doubled die error can increase the value of the coin exponentially, in addition to the doubled die variety. There are also a few other minor minting errors that can occur with the 1972 D half dollar, including off-center strikes, weak strikes, and die cracks. While these errors might seem small, they make the coin stand out, and as a result, they can be worth much more to collectors who are looking for something special and unique to add to their collection. Now, let's get to the big question. How much is a 1972 half dollar worth? If you have one of these coins in good condition, you're already looking at a value higher than face value, often reaching up to $20 or $30. But here's where it gets really exciting if you've got a 1972 half dollar with the doubled die error, or if the coin is in near mint or uncirculated condition, the value can skyrocket. For a coin in perfect condition, or with the rare double die error, you could be looking at a coin worth $80,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $80,000. That's an incredible amount of money for a coin that many people wouldn't think twice about in their pocket change. If you're lucky enough to have a 1972 half dollar in top condition or with an error, it could be worth a small fortune. So, if you've got any 1972 half dollars in your collection, make sure to take a close look at them. Check for any signs of the double die error or other minting anomalies that could make the coin more valuable. If you're unsure about the condition or the potential value of your coin, it might be a good idea to have it professionally graded by a numismatist. A coin in mint condition or with a rare minting error could easily be worth much more than you imagine. Third expensive coin, we're diving into the 1973 US half dollar coin, and trust me, this seemingly ordinary coin from over 50 years ago might be worth far more than you think. It's easy to overlook a coin like this, but when you know what to look for, you might find that you've stumbled upon something truly special. Stay tuned until the end, because we'll reveal just how much a 1973 half dollar can be worth in today's market. The 1973 US half dollar is part of the iconic Kennedy half dollar series. These coins were first introduced in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy following his tragic assassination. Since then, the Kennedy half dollar has become one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. The 1973 version is no exception, carrying with it the same iconic design and historical significance. On the obverse side of the 1973 half dollar, you'll find a portrait of President John F. Kennedy. This well-known design was created by artist Gilroy Roberts and captures the president in a dignified and timeless manner. Around the portrait, you'll see the inscription, Liberty, the phrase, In God We Trust, and the year, 1973. On the reverse side, the design features the majestic bald eagle, perched with its wings outstretched. It holds a bundle of arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, representing both military strength and peace. Above the eagle, you'll find the words, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and half dollar. Now, the 1973 half dollar might not be as immediately exciting as some other coins, but there's more to it than you may realize. First, let's talk about the overall mintage of this coin. Millions of these half dollars were produced in 1973, which makes them relatively common when compared to other coins. However, that doesn't mean they're worthless. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Just like any collectible item, coins that are in better shape are worth much more than those that have been worn down through years of circulation. If you've got a 1973 half dollar in uncirculated condition, you're already looking at a coin worth much more than face value. While a coin in average circulated condition might only be worth a few dollars above its face value, one in excellent condition can bring in much higher prices. Coins that have been carefully preserved, with no signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the rarity and demand for that particular coin. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The 1973 half dollar also has a bit of a secret to its value: minting errors. If you've ever watched our videos, you know how much we love to talk about error coins. These are coins that were struck with some sort of mistake during the minting process, making them unique and highly desirable to collectors. A minting error can happen for a variety of reasons: a misalignment of the dies, an issue with the metal planchets, or even a problem with the coin press itself. For the 1973 half dollar, some rare and highly valuable errors exist. One of the most sought-after types of minting error for this coin is the double die variety. Double dies occur when the die used to strike the coin makes multiple impressions, resulting in a doubling of certain elements of the design. For example, you might notice that the words Liberty or the date 1973 appear doubled. creating a unique look that stands out from the typical version of the coin. These errors are incredibly rare and can dramatically increase the value of a 1973 half dollar. If you happen to have a 1973 half dollar with a double die error, you could be holding onto a piece of numismatic history that's worth much more than the typical half dollar, aside from the double die error. There are also other minting errors that can make the 1973 half dollar more valuable. Off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned on the coin, and weak strikes, where parts of the design are faint or incomplete, can also make the coin more desirable to collectors. These errors are usually subtle, but to an experienced collector, they can make a big difference in the coin's value. If you suspect you have a coin with one of these rare minting issues, it's definitely worth getting it professionally graded and appraised. So, how much can the 1973 US half dollar be worth? Well, the value of the coin depends on its condition and whether it has any unique characteristics, like minting errors. In general, if you've got a coin in great condition, it can easily be worth $20 to $50 above its face value. But if you've got one of those rare double die or error coins, the price can shoot up exponentially. In fact, some of these 1973 half dollars with minting errors have been known to sell for incredible amounts of money. A coin with a high-grade double die error could potentially be worth as much as $70,000. That's right, $70,000. Imagine finding a 1973 half dollar in your collection, or even in your spare change, that could be worth that kind of money. It might be surprising, but rare error coins can fetch huge prices in the market. And with the Kennedy half dollar series being so iconic and beloved by collectors, this particular coin is definitely one worth keeping an eye on. So, if you have any 1973 half dollars lying around, it's time to take a closer look. Check for any signs of minting errors or unique characteristics that could increase its value. If you're not sure how to properly grade or assess your coin, it's always a good idea to consult a professional numismatist who can help you determine if you've got a hidden treasure on your hands. Now, we're going to be talking about something that might be sitting right under your nose or possibly tucked away in an old jar of change: the 1998 US half dollar coin, minted with the P mint mark in Philadelphia. This might seem like just another half dollar, but you'll soon learn that this coin holds a secret that could make it worth a small fortune. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know just how valuable a 1998 half dollar could be, and we'll give you the jaw-dropping price it could fetch. The 1998 half dollar is part of the Kennedy half dollar series, which was introduced in 1964 following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. These coins were designed as a tribute to the late president, and over the years, they've become one of the most beloved and recognizable coins in the history of US currency. The 1998 coin, in particular, is one that may not get as much attention as some others in the series, but it has a lot of potential for collectors, especially if you know what to look for. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find the iconic portrait of President Kennedy, designed by artist Gilroy Roberts. The image has become a symbol of the 35th president's legacy. Surrounding Kennedy's likeness are the words "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1998. The reverse side of the coin features the familiar bald eagle, symbolizing strength and freedom. The eagle holds a bundle of arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, while the inscription, "United States of America, e pluribus unum," and half dollar, can be found around the image. At first glance, this coin may look like your average 50-cent piece, but there's more to it than meets the eye. The value of the 1998 half dollar lies not only in its historical significance, but also in the condition and rarity of the coin. Like any collectible, the state of preservation is crucial when determining its worth. A coin that has been used in everyday transactions will have more wear and tear, and therefore a lower value compared to a coin in pristine or uncirculated condition. The better the condition, the higher the value, and that's where things start to get really interesting. Now, the 1998 half dollar may not be a rare coin in terms of overall mintage. Millions of these coins were struck in 1998, so in terms of raw availability, they aren't exactly a scarcity. However, here's where things take an intriguing turn. Certain features and unique characteristics can make a 1998 half dollar far more valuable than you'd think. Collectors are always on the lookout for high-quality examples of coins from certain years, and the 1998 half dollar is no exception. If you happen to have a 1998 half dollar in uncirculated condition, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth significantly more than the 50 cents it was originally meant to represent. These well-preserved coins can fetch a premium simply due to their pristine appearance. Whether they've been stored carefully or simply remained untouched through the years, uncirculated 1998 half dollars are far rarer than you might imagine, but the real kicker comes with the possibility of minting errors. If you've been following the world of coin collecting for a while, you know that error coins can be worth a small fortune. A minting error occurs when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that is unique from the others. The 1998 half dollar is no exception. There are some truly rare and valuable errors that make this coin stand out from the rest. One of the most sought-after minting errors on the 1998 half dollar is the double die variety. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or unintentionally struck more than once, causing a doubling effect in certain elements of the design. With the 1998 half dollar, this can often be seen on the date or the inscription Liberty on the obverse. A double die coin is considered highly collectible because it's a unique mistake that only a small number of coins from that year will have. If you find a 1998 half dollar with this error, it could be worth many times more than a regular coin in good condition. In addition to the double die, there are other minting errors that can increase the value of the coin, such as off-center strikes or weak strikes. An off-center strike happens when the die doesn't properly align with the planchet, resulting in an incomplete or misaligned design on the coin. A weak strike, on the other hand, is when the pressure from the die isn't applied evenly, causing some parts of the design to appear faint or missing altogether. While these errors are more subtle than the double die variety, they still make the coin stand out to collectors and can significantly boost its value. So, how much could your 1998 half dollar be worth? Well, if you have a coin in excellent, uncirculated condition, you're already looking at a coin that could be worth more than a few dollars above its face value. But if you happen to have a rare minting error, like the double die or an off-center strike, your coin's value could skyrocket. A high-quality example or one with a significant error could easily fetch tens of thousands of dollars. And if you've got the right 1998 half dollar, it could be worth as much as $35,000. Yes, you heard that right, $35,000. That's a remarkable amount of money for a coin that many people would overlook. But when you combine the right condition with a rare minting error, the value can go through the roof. So, the next time you come across a 1998 half dollar, make sure to examine it closely. Check for any signs of a double die or other errors, and take note of its condition. If you're not sure how to assess the coin, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded by a numismatist. Last unique coin, we're about to dive into a coin that's both historic and highly valuable, the 1776 to 1976 US half dollar coin, also known as the Bicentennial half dollar. This coin, celebrating 200 years of American independence, holds a special place in US history. But what makes it so valuable? Stick around until the end of this video, because I'm about to tell you just how much this coin could be worth today, and trust me, the value might surprise you. The 1776 to 1976 half dollar was issued to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. As part of a series of coins minted to mark this milestone, the Bicentennial half dollar is one of the most widely circulated commemorative coins ever produced in the United States. But even though it was made in large quantities, it's still a coin that holds special appeal to collectors, and for good reason. On the obverse side of the 1776 to 1976 half dollar, you'll find a classic design that's both familiar and unique. The obverse features a portrait of President John F. Kennedy, which was originally designed by Gilroy Roberts and has appeared on the Kennedy half dollar series since its inception in 1964. However, what makes this particular coin special is the reverse side. Instead of the usual design with the bald eagle, the reverse of the Bicentennial half dollar features a unique depiction of the Liberty Bell, superimposed over the 13 original stars, symbolizing the original 13 colonies. In addition, the coin includes the date 1776 to 1976 to commemorate the American Bicentennial. This design, created by Dennis R. Williams, captures the essence of American independence and serves as a lasting reminder of the country's historic milestone. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this 1776 to 1976 half-dollar valuable? After all, millions of them were minted. While it's true that the coin was produced in large numbers, there are still reasons why collectors are actively seeking this coin, especially if it's in pristine condition or has special features. The main factor in determining the value of this coin lies in its condition and whether it contains any unique characteristics. Like many other coins, the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar can vary in value depending on how well it's been preserved. A coin that's been circulated extensively may have significant wear and tear, meaning it will likely only be worth its face value or a small premium. However, coins that are in uncirculated or near-perfect condition are far rarer and are often in much higher demand. If you happen to have one of these coins in excellent condition, you could already be looking at a more valuable piece, potentially worth hundreds of dollars over its original face value. But here's where things get even more interesting. Certain 1776 to 1976 half-dollars feature minting errors or rare varieties that make them even more valuable. Error coins are a huge deal in the numismatic world, and the Bicentennial half-dollar is no exception. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, leading to a coin that differs from the intended design. These errors are rare, and because they make the coin unique, they're highly sought after by collectors. One of the most famous minting errors on the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar is the double die variety. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or unintentionally struck multiple times, leading to a design that's doubled in certain parts. This can sometimes be seen on the date or lettering of the coin, which appears twice, creating a noticeable error. Coins with this type of error can significantly increase in value. If you happen to find a 1776 to 1976 half-dollar with a double die, you might be sitting on a valuable treasure. Another potential error to look out for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, leading to an incomplete or misaligned image on the coin. Off-center strikes are less common, but they're still highly prized among collectors who are eager to find something truly unique. Other types of errors, like weak strikes or die cracks, can also add value to the coin, but they're typically less dramatic than a double die or off-center strike, even though this coin was minted in high quantities. The combination of the bicentennial theme and the possibility of finding a rare error makes the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar a favorite among coin collectors. It's a piece of American history, and collectors are always looking for the best examples, whether they're in flawless condition or contain rare minting errors. So, how much could your 1776 to 1976 half-dollar be worth? If your coin is in excellent uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a value of anywhere between $10 and $50, depending on its quality and demand at the time. But here's where it gets exciting. If your coin is a rare error, especially a double die or an off-center strike, you could see its value shoot up dramatically. Coins with these kinds of errors can easily fetch thousands of dollars at auction, depending on the grade and rarity of the error. Some of the most highly sought-after error coins from this series have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, and the prices only continue to rise as collectors' interest grows. And here comes the moment you've all been waiting for, the price reveal. If you happen to have a 1776 to 1976 half-dollar that's in exceptional condition or contains one of those rare minting errors, your coin could be worth as much as $60,000. Yes, you heard that right, $60,000. That's an incredible amount of money for a coin that, at first glance, might seem like just another piece of currency. So, the next time you dig through your spare change or look through your coin collection, make sure to give that 1776 to 1976 half-dollar a closer inspection. If it's in pristine condition or features a rare error, you could be holding onto a coin worth far more than face value.